Talk to me about Papua New Guinea. In terms of you are starting to throw off a lot of cash, a lot of free cash flow now. You will continue to throw off the free cash flow, certainly at today's prices. You've got a very low AISC and all in cash costs, very, very low. What are the conversations with the government about? Because sometimes when you see this in Africa, people look at the revenues, they kind of start getting a bit interested in what you're producing and perhaps start trying to get involved. So with regards to taxes, with regards to royalties, with regards to licenses and permits, has it been all plain sailing so far?
Look, it would be fair to say that we've got a really good relationship with the government. First off, we've taken an asset that never made any money. And we've gone in and we've actually turned it around to the extent that we paid our first corporate tax in July. I actually met with the new commissioner of the IRC, not long before COVID hit, and said, listen, just wanted to have this meeting to flag that we believe we're going to be paying corporate tax this year. And when I helped him pick himself up off the floor, he said, but you're new people here. You're not on our radar. And I said, well, we believe we're going to be paying tax this year. We've done our numbers. And he named a couple of other mines that have been there quite a lot longer than us and said, well, that means you'll have paid more tax than them. And we've now paid our first ever corporate tax. We are, as you mentioned, we're kicking off a fair amount of cash. When you look at the government in PNG, it's 45 years independent, never had a coup. It's a government, Westminster style, 111 members of parliament. You never have a majority government because it is such an incredibly diverse country. 8.5 million people, 850 languages, and a bit over 200,000 taxpayers.
Right.
So it's the vast majority of people subsistence farmers. And that's really important when you're dealing with your communities to understand subsistence farmers. Land is everything. In PNG, land is everything. So first off, you've got communities that you need to deal with, and you need to deal with in a respectful way and understand this is their land and it is important to them. And just because he's not farming where you want to be today doesn't mean he won't be at some point, because that's the way in which they farm. They rotate and move into different areas. So you've got to be respectful for that. System in PNG, every mine has to have an MOA, a memorandum of agreement, with the local communities, local level government, provincial government, state government, and the company, administered by the MRA, the Mineral Resources Authority. And in that, everyone's got commitments that they're making, not just the company, but others. So the government is doing things to facilitate. Obviously, the main one is what the company is going to do in terms of employment, procurement, all those things. Royalty, unusual. PNG, one of the few countries in the world where the majority of royalty goes to the communities, not to the government. So if you look at ours, 70% of the royalty is actually paid to local communities. 30%, I think, goes to local level government, provincial government. So quite unusual in that context as well. Relatively low, it's a 2% royalty. We believe it will be increased, and we don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. 2% is at the low end of royalty. In terms of corporate tax, 30% corporate tax. So relatively straightforward in that context. Certainly the government, like many other governments, is continuing to look at, what is our cut? And the PM, the new PM who came in last year, has been quite clear. The government believe that they should get 50% of net cash flow. And if you look around the world, you look at Australia and all the rest of it, that is about the figure that if you're in Australia, that's what you're paying. And certainly with our corporate tax, with your royalty, and then of course, obviously we employ a lot of people. We currently have about 900 employees and contractors. That's including all of our exploration, which is quite a large.
But are they local? Are those local people?
95% of those PNG nationals, a bit over 95%. 65% are actually from our local communities, many of whom never had a formal job before, never mind worked in a mine. Lowest percentage of expats of any of the mines. We are an underground operation. We need to have a very heavy commitment in terms of training, safety, et cetera, in order to be able to obviously operate successfully. We believe we've been very, very successful to date at that. We've had one lost time injury in 4 years. We've got the best safety record in PNG and one of the best in Australasia. All of those people pay tax in PNG, including the expats. You fly in, fly out, but you are paying tax in PNG.